It's the only reason that Monday you're going to work right now is they're pretending that anti-gravity devices aren't real. The damn thing's flying everywhere. And these whistleblowers are trying to tell you, dummy, pay attention. Who's in the ship doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's a little green guy, big tall blue guy. Doesn't matter if it's a Rothschild, a Rockefeller. Doesn't matter if it's Democrats, Republicans. They all fly together. They roll together. They're road dogs. Ride or die. Murder the world. Doesn't matter who's in these UFOs. Does not matter. Focus on the fact that these damn things flying around Earth. Keep calm. Focus on that. Keep calm. Focus on that. I keep telling people, say, well, why you don't seem like you calm? Oh, I'm calm. Here's my calm music. Oh, I'm very calm. I think it's, because I think, hold on, hang on. We'll let some people come in. Let me get my comments up. Oh, wait a minute. I got a couple things to post. All right. Let me just see. Oh, yeah, because I was watching some things this morning. Oh, let me get the comments on this screen working first, and I'll go through the comment. I got a status to post, and I got a quote from Lauren Hill. History. A lot of history. Sometimes AI is on your side. I'm lying. AI is not on your side. AI works for big corporations and oligarchy. It's not on your side. It might accidentally do things in our favor, but AI is not on our side. Hang on. Let me bring YouTube into the fray real quick and we can get started. I don't know why this daggone thing doesn't work. Man, if we just put a little bit of energy into making software work instead of murdering other people, that would be fantastic. This generation or the next. All right, let's see. Be the upgrade. Oh, I love that name. Be the upgrade. Be the upgrade. All right, get my password, then we can get started. Keep calm. Keep calm. Stress will literally kill you. Besides that, it makes you act stupid. Stress monkeys out. Monkeys. I've seen it my whole life, trust me. I'm lucky. I have stress privilege. I do. I wasn't stressed. Okay, I wasn't stressed as a kid because I grew up in a privileged family, which is why I never use my privilege against people. I use my privilege for people, to help people. That's the whole purpose. If they're your family and you got privilege, you're supposed to use to help people. It's number one. And number two, I only became stressed in life, I think, in middle school. Middle school, when you actually started to have to do some work and they started to indoctrinate you that this is who you are and this is your stressful world, this is who hates you, this is who you love, this is who you're supposed to fight, whatever, for Rothschild, Rockefeller world. Don't focus on the energy. And I remained stressed till I left corporate America. Remained stressed, and it was killing me, literally killing. Stress literally kills you. When you are stressed out, your immune system shuts down. The only damn thing that's keeping you alive is your immune system. The only damn thing that's keeping you alive is those 50 trillion cells in your body that are all negatively charged on the inside, positive on the outside. So all this whole theory about human beings are biological creatures and we solve problems with medicine and biological and chemical solutions. You are an energy creature. Focus on that. That's what the aliens and they all been trying to tell you. Since the very beginning, y'all call them gods, whatever. Fine with that, whatever you call them. But stress will literally kill you. It shuts down your growth. Your cells are dying all the time. You need new cells creating. When you're stressed, your body goes into shutdown mode. So sitting your butt at a desk all day, stressed because the TPS reports aren't done, your boss is climbing down your throat, somebody else hates you, this, that, yeah, don't focus on that. Just find peace in life. Because when you're stressed, you act stupid. When you stress a monkey out, what do monkeys do? You ever go to the zoo? Y'all ever go to the zoo? All right. You ever go to the zoo and see a stressed out monkey? Y'all ever see that? Come to America. If you have just no zoo in your world, no zoo in your land, come to America. You see what stressed out monkeys do. They start just jumping and screaming and flying and jumping on here and grabbing things and playing with themselves and sticking fingers in butts and yelling and screaming and swinging. Throwing doodle everywhere. I went to the zoo once and the monkey was throwing rocks at me. Big old silverback. I done told y'all that story. I ain't gonna tell you again. Stressed out monkeys do not behave properly. You are 98% monkey. I know it makes you upset. I'm just sorry. You can be proud of the 2%. Keep calm. It's just a human experience. Keep calm. Pay attention what the more evolved creatures are trying to tell you. And that's I personally, I think that's what's in the UFOs. I think most of them are military-industrial complex, and some of them are aliens, very few. Because I like to think about why things happen. Right? Like, how are the aliens? And I was kind of interested in the human race. Kind of, sort of, not really. They're kind of funny when they throw poo-poo at each other. It's called war, stealing people's land. I would literally come back and never invade, because they never invaded us. That's what I was telling the brother the other day. He's like, you don't have to worry about aliens invading. Look at history. What did history tell you? History tells you the aliens have zero interest in invading you. There is nothing on Earth, human, monkey land, 98% monkey planet, that they have any interest in. Nothing. Literally nothing. Now, you might, people, they always like to throw up the Anunnaki. It's like, all right, well, you know, you might need a lesser evolved species that might need a little gold for their atmosphere. I don't know. I'm not sure I believe that, but there really is nothing. There are asteroids that are made completely of gold. There are planets made of gold. Your aliens will never invade. They don't care. They're interested mildly. They like to come here after calamities and like give us technology and help us out and go find the Tibetan monks and take them and spread them to the Aborigines, put them on Australia, put them in and get the Africans and go put them like in Latin America, go get to the Greeks and take and move them down to somewhere else. That's all they do. They're interested in watching Human, the series. They don't want us to die out. They don't want us to go extinct. They have that level of interest, but they're never going to invade. If anybody invades you, it is the United States Rothschild government. That's who it is. It is the United Kingdom Rockefeller government. That's who's invading. It's never going to be aliens. History tells you that. 2, science and biology tell you you're only alone in your own damn head. No, actually, that's neuroscience. That's behavioral human sciences. You're only alone in your only damn head. Narcissism, sociopath, you think you're alone, you think you're the greatest, you're the best, you're in the universe, you're all put that away. Science tells you life is everywhere, all right? So if I were the alien, what would I do? If I were a human from the future, I would come back in these flying ships that everybody's seeing, the military's finally being allowed to say what they're seeing, and I would just fly. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't talk to y'all. I wouldn't go, because I wouldn't want no poo on me. I'm not gonna land. Get out my ship. Do you ever go to the zoo and like see the monkeys acting up and flipping out? And do you ever get out your ship and you get out your car, go to the zoo and climb over the gate, go in the monkey cage and talk to the monkeys? Do you ever do that? Anybody ever seen that happen? Go. Hey, monkeys, we got government for you. We have energy, fossil fuel technology. We've got healthcare. Monkeys, come on over here. Not to put the poo down. What you doing? Come on over here, monkey. Get out that damn tree. Get over here. No, hell no. Aliens don't do that. Not well. All right. Some people say they do it. I'm saying from my perspective, what I would do. I would just fly down and I would say, dummies. This is a message. This is why they don't stop. I would just fly down in inner Earth atmosphere and fly right the hell back out. I'd just fly down, kids stay in the car, and fly right back out. Why? I would show you I don't have any engines on my ship. All right? You're killing each other, literally, for nothing. Anti-gravity exists. You're the only species in the solar system or the universe that still thinks that you gotta kill each other over oils. All right? That's what I would do. It would be like a flashy thing. You know how y'all wake up in the morning, you put on them Ferragamos and you go put on that nice shirt, put on your labels and your name brand stuff that very wealthy people never wear because it's slave branding. You know, it's you trying, all right, I won't go there. It's you mimicking your betters. You don't have any betters. There's no better than you. You are perfect and fantastic and phenomenal, the spiritual creature you are. The 98% monkey, not so much. Not so much. All right, I got a few things I gotta do. Hold on. Everybody should be here. And I don't really want to do a UFO conversation. I think that if we continue to make that popular, we continue to talk about it from the right perspective. Not if aliens exist. That's stupid. That's just dumb. I don't know anybody who's still debating that. Okay, never mind. I do. I do. I love them to death. It's just exposure to information and data. But the focus is free energy. Focus on free energy. Don't get lost in a UFO debate. If aliens exist, aliens had your baby, they didn't have your baby, they stole your cows, they're not stealing cows. Let's not discuss that. That's stupid. The only important thing is free energy exists. We don't have it. The only reason the human race is a slave species is because we are slaves to gravity. Being a slave makes you a little moody. Going to work on a Monday, happy Monday, everybody, makes you a little moody. Makes you violent, gives you a conflict, gives you someone you got to struggle and fight. If you're fighting hate, free energy is your debate. If you're fighting climate change, free energy is your point. And so if we continue to post and talk about the UFOs that finally, the last government on this planet finally existed, in which a new whistleblower just now came out and told you that he worked in the CIA for these projects, and he's trying to explain to you out of protest is the word he used, out of protest that these damn things exist. There's no reason for the human race to be in conflict anywhere in this world. We can fix mental illness, we can fix violence, make rape go away, make mugging, and all of the crazy stuff we have, all the mental illness that comes from being a slave to gravity, we can make go away. So there's no important topic. Brother asked me that the other day. Most important topic. He says, don't we have more important things to talk about than UFOs? There is absolutely nothing more important to talk about than the enslavement of the human race. Nothing. If humans aren't free, this world won't go the way it needs to. All right, so I got 2 examples. First thing, what's this? Oh yeah, I was watching a talk this morning. They were talking about, a brother on RT made a good point. He said the gold standard. I'll ask you guys this question real quick. Oh, by the way, this is the battle for LA. If you didn't, I didn't even mention that. That's the battle for LA. That's an anti-gravity device that's not supposed to exist, that existed way back then. You don't really see this much anymore until just now. Why? Because probably for the last almost 100 years, they've been perfecting what they saw, right? The Rothschilds and Rockefellers and Mellons, they figured out that anti-gravity exists, and they put all their efforts into it. They bought the laws in America to make sure that all those patents got secured so you can't get them. Why? Because it keeps you in conflict with the Russians, and the left fighting the right, and the whites fighting the black, and the Christians fighting the Muslims, and all the stupid people fighting stupid people. Not stupid. I always go off. Ignorant people. People who are ignorant to the fact that if you drill down to root cause, the only reason conflict exists is artificial scarcity of energy. All right. So this is what the brother said. Is returning to the gold standard the end of big government and endless war? It's a question. It's a question, right? Because that's how the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, well, mainly it was the Rothschilds with banking. That's how they got endless war, right? Like, that's how they can wage endless war with the dummies in America. Vinny the Nose with the America, the military industrial complex, where they send their kids off to kill and murder other people and they come back jacked up, is they had endless money. So it was a good point. It's a good point, because I don't really tune into the political stuff like the gold standard stuff, but he actually made some sense, right? Because if you have endless money, you can do endless things, right? If we were to go back to the gold standard, big government would fail. If we went back to the gold standard, we couldn't afford to fight Russia. You know what the war with Russia would be if we got back to the gold standard? the war with Russia, you probably see Bolton. Because you can't pay the troops, you can't buy the guns, you can't buy the tanks, the M530 Raptors, whatever, they don't have no JP4 to take off. It would be like Bolton and Putin, like arm wrestling or something. It'd be like one of the Mayan fights, right? Back when they had the kings fight each other and that determined the conflict. But to get together all your massive militaries on this side, that side, or to wage a world-scaled war, you can't do it on a gold standard. You got to do it lying to people and printing money. All right, so I had to post that real quick. So that's a question, because I believe in the end game, right? But there are like midterm steps we got to take to get somewhere sometimes. So I am everybody could wake up overnight and we can solve the problems type of person, but I'm never gonna like push away your solution. Like, some people are gonna vote, you know, and that's your thing. If that's what you want to do. Focus on what the real problems are, though, when you do that vote thing, right? And understand, in my country, if you want blue lives to matter, or black lives to matter, or white lives to matter, or immigrant lives to matter, or troops' lives to matter, there are two parties you cannot vote for, because those two parties are based in conflict. They're based in keeping all of these people struggling against each other over energy that they won't reveal to you. So if you're going to do that, go do that. Another midterm solution, if you're not a let's just fix the world overnight type of person, is universal basic income. I agree with that. I don't like money and I don't like income. To me, it props up this whole fantasy fake world. But the reality is, the less psychopaths we have running on the street, the less people get killed, murdered, mugged, raped, and the less the less drug cartels you have armed with weapons. So I believe in universal basic income. It's a stopgap solution. You know, sometimes in battle, you got to do the triage, and you You got to go and save what you can. You got to save the people you can, because the more people we have focused on root cause, critical thinking, the problem with the human race is energy, that it's being kept from you, the better. All right, I'm gonna do some comments. I do want to show you this real quick though, because I only get to talk about the UFOs when in the news. Keep calm, keep talking about it, keep posting about it, keep telling people about it. Yes, well, why is it in the news and in the New York Times? They want to own the debate. Don't let them own the debate. You focus on the free energy debate. That's what you focus on. You focus on what keeps humans in conflict. Ignore the alien thing. Let people believe what they want. Where is that? Hang on, I'll show you something. Let people believe what they want. I like to post this. Where is this at? Hold on. Wait. I gotta pull up the picture. Let me see right there. There's a whole bunch of these. Get some, put in your collection, put in your wallet. So, people ever ask that question. They want to sit here and debate with you about UFOs and aliens, that they're the greatest thing in the universe and all that stuff. Let me see if I got this here. Right here. Just pull this up. Just show them this right here. I love this one. This is the Milky Way galaxy. There's a lot to choose from. Go out to ecoasia.org. Don't go out to Google. Don't Google any damn thing. That's stupid. Why would you support what enslaves you? Or do that as little as possible. And just type in Milky Way galaxy. You are here. Right here. You're right there. Actually, you know what? I don't think we're. I think that one. That was right. We're out on a spindle, but this one represents it best. See this one right here? You're way out in the rural areas. You're out there with the cattle and the farms. There's not a whole lot of life out there. Most of the life is in the center. See how white it is? The land of milk and honey. I was listening to the thought they were talking about. Just focus on that. Focus on the fact that there's free energy. Why? Because how could things from in there get out to where you are out in the hood, out in Monkey Way? All right. No fighting over UFOs, no fighting over aliens. I'm not fighting you because I really don't care what you think. I don't really care what you believe. I know what is plausible from a scientific, biological, ecosystem, and historical perspective. Not only the fact that you got whistleblowers trying to tell you what's going on. All right, so I'm gonna just play this one real quick and then I'll look at comments. Not only that, but then they're still keeping all the Nikola Tesla information from them. Right? They still redacted that. They've still redacted that. Democrats and Republicans. Okay? Keep voting for these people. Where is it at? Hang on. There was a lot of stuff in the news, but I really don't have time to go through everything. So there's a whole lot to talk about. We always got to defer back to the root cause. Go back to the root cause of all the problems. All the human conflict is we're slaves to gravity. Do not lose sight of that. Let's see, we go here. I don't know, was that a pacifier? What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. I'm not buying it. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not interested. That's weird.
Three levels of reactions to the notion of UFOs, or life outside of our world that may have actually encountered our world. There are those who would say, oh, heck yeah, absolutely. I can't get enough of it. I totally buy into it. Those who completely deny it and say, hogwash. And then there are those who I think are like the category that most of us fall into, that goes something like this. I don't know, but I'm not willing to say that it absolutely cannot happen. It appears that even in the US government, this category exists because the Pentagon, did you know?
Hang on, no, and this is the fourth category. I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you, Brother Sanchez. The fourth category. Those who don't care that you think they exist, those that don't care if you think they don't exist, those who don't care if you're on the fence if they exist, those who just are interested in freeing the human race, an emancipation proclamation for the whole damn planet, freeing people so they can go on and live their lives the way we always used to, so they don't get stressed. That's why I was talking about stress, because stress will kill you. And lack of energy is where stress comes from. All stress, like all human conflict, comes back down to the lack of energy, the artificial scarcity of energy, that human beings can't go on with their damn lives the way they used to, instead of having to work all damn day like a slave and they cheer it. All right, focus on that. That is the fourth category. The people who have no interest on what you think about UFOs or aliens. The fact is, there are anti-gravity devices flying around this planet, and we don't really care who's in it. We want all focus on it. And that usually ends up in a conversation of governments cannot have secrets at all. Corporations can no longer have secrets.
Has long had a UFO program that used to be extremely secretive. Keyword used to be. News with Rick Sanchez. Special correspondent Michelle Greenstein is joining us now because the head of that program is now going to go public and tell his story. Who is this guy and what are we talking about?
His name is Luis Elizondo, and the program was the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. The Pentagon put $22 million a year into this thing, which was then a secret. This was their secret UFO program, right? And it was supposedly concluded in the year 2012. Now, before this program, the U.S.
Stop. Wasn't $22 million. $22 million was released to you. It was trillions of dollars. They've known this for a very long time, since the Battle of LA or way before that. They've been investing in this for a long time, trying to make these anti-gravity devices. We've had over hundreds of whistleblowers who came forward and told us this. It's not 22 million. That's controlling the narrative. Trillions of dollars.
Air Force actually had something different. It was called Project Blue Book, and that investigated claims of UFOs, thousands of them in the 50s and 60s. But once the Navy upgraded its radar technology in the 80s, we started to see these UFO sightings become much more common. Now, Luis Elizondo, who's the former director of this program, actually resigned in protest. He claims that he wasn't a fan of the excessive secrecy, and he wasn't a fan of the fact that the government was unwilling to address the potential risks of UFOs.
Well, let me ask you the question that I think most people who are listening to you speak would want.
Clarify, he was a human being. He worked for some killers and psychopathic murderers that were keeping free energy devices race. And so he, in protest, quit his job working for the U.S. government, dealing with UFOs and anti-gravity devices. Why? Because he's a human being. He's not a human being on the psychopathic spectrum, where he's got the warrior genes activated, where he thinks it's a good idea to continue to hide from the human race what they collectively own, which is all the resources and the energy on this planet and the technology that can free them from being slaves.
Want to know the fact that they had a program, okay. The fact that there are supposed sightings, okay. What's the difference, though, between some drunk guy in Arkansas saying, I saw something that doesn't check out, and verifiable accounts that they think, hey, there may have actually been an unidentified flying object there?
Right, so those drunk guys, which maybe there were thousands of them, in the past few decades, a lot of people are claiming to have seen UFOs in the U.S., I guess are now being maybe vindicated by these Pentagon officials like Mr. Elizondo, who, like I said, was the head of a Pentagon program. And he said that what these people were seeing in the Navy and the Air Force was being verified on radar, and that these UFOs were so fast, because, UFO just means anything that you can't identify, right?
Right, exactly.
But the reason he thinks they were, let's say out of this world, is because they were so fast that they would have experienced the gravitational forces that far exceed the limits of endurance for both humans and the aircraft known to humans.
Pause, right? So he worked on a $22 million project. We know trillions went in, so the U was never given to him. I suspect he knows, because as Ty just said, there were over 10,000 whistleblowers who told you that they're all lying, who worked on the project they spent trillions of dollars on, because that's the greatest flaw with big government system, is it's full of human beings. It's not full of psychopaths. The psychopaths usually bubble to the top. They're the ones that you cheer, put on your bumper sticker and put on your refrigerator, and you cheer and you fight your friend and your neighbor over. You won't talk to your wife over. She won't give you none over. Your brother, you hate him. So there are human beings on these projects, and they've been telling us this for a long time. There's one other thing. So he would know, right? And the whole point is that 10,000 told you what the U is. There is no U, it's just the FO. They're flying objects. Most of them are owned by United States Space Force. Well, they're flown by United States Space Force and the British Space Force and the Russian Space Force and the China Space Force, but they're owned by the Rothschild central banks and whoever owns the bank in Russia. I don't know, Russian oligarchs. Rothschild banking, that's who owns the entire world.
He says that by all of his observations, they had to have been from another world.
But half the time, these things are either the Russians or the Americans doing some missile deployment or missile test that maybe Mr. Elizondo didn't know about?
You know, I really don't know. I don't have firsthand knowledge of it, but let's take a look at what he had to say. This is his justification.
All right.
He says that they don't have engines or even wings, and they are seemingly able to defy the natural effects of Earth's gravitational pull. So he thinks, this man thinks, that if this were a court of law, that we are well beyond the point of what you would call reasonable doubt. And he's going to...
So the man who worked on the project, and the only $22 million project, he told you in the court of law that you can convict UFOs existing. And I want to kind of, again, I love Sanchez to death, and maybe he's asking questions to kind of trigger people who, well, the Russians got them, they're Russian nuclear missiles. I really don't care what ordinances are on there. That's not important. It's not important because human beings have been killing each other for the longest time. They got nuclear weapons. That's not information. The only thing that's information is what they're flying on. They're flying on free energy devices. That's the only important thing. Convicted in the court of law, the damn things exist. There's nothing more important than the human race to work on this and know the truth about it.
Court of law, that we are well beyond the point of what you would call reasonable doubt. And he's going to be sharing these stories in depth on the History Channel tonight. That's when the docuseries premieres.
And
I think I missed that, y'all. That was now. This is May 31st, so the documentary was May 31st. This is the only problem with not watching the news. But I don't like being stressed. I don't really watch. I don't think I've watched the news in like 4 days or something. So I missed it. If you watched it, great. If not, you can probably go out on History Channel's thing and watch it. I'll try to go out and watch it, but with me, it's a stress thing. Stress management. The news is designed to keep you upset about stuff. That's why I love this keep calm meme. I love keep calm memes. I love them to death. Keep calm. Look up. Do exactly what the scriptures told you to do. Keep calm, look up. Keep calm, look up. Because that is where your answer is. Your solution is the anti-gravity devices flying every problem you got. Whether it's cancer, autism, stress, disease, war, violence, abuse, climate change, all of it is answered by what enslaves the human race into this ignorant existence.
And he's speaking in protest, which is what makes this story so interesting.
Right. He and his fellow colleagues say that they weren't able to get this on the desk or on the agenda of the actual Secretary of Defense, so they're actually going to the public instead.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Rebecca has me laughing. UFO, underclass, unidentified flying. Oh my God! Yeah, see, this is why I love. This is why I laugh so much, because that is exactly how it works. Is that we are here and they're there. We are here, they're there. The only battle in the human race has always been us and them. It's always been us and them. Is nothing else. They keep us stupid. We're the dumb monkeys in the zoo fighting each other, hitting people with poo in the face. I think from now on, Rebecca done coined that. For me, it's going to be UFO. Because that's really all it is. It's just the poor people aren't allowed to know because the poor people are busy fighting each other over hate and healthcare and walls and guns and everything else that just does not matter in the grand scheme of what enslaves the entire planet.
And he's not alone. Christopher Mellon, the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense who worked under both the Clinton and Bush administrations, says that although there hasn't been any contact between the military and between, whatever beings are on these alleged UFOs, all indications point to the fact that these UFOs are what he calls, quote, intelligently controlled devices. So to him, it's no longer a question of if UFOs exist, but the question is, what are they? Who's in them and why are they out here?
Good stuff.
And
Anyway, I go back. What did she say? She said, I like her too. I forgot her name. She is highly intelligent. Hang on.
why are they out here?
Good stuff.
Why are they out there? Hang on, let's go back to the questions. I like questions.
If UFOs exist, but the question is, what are they? Who's in them and
if they exist, of course they do. Who's in them? I don't care.
why are they out here?
And why are they out here? I think that's important. That gets back to free energy, right? Why are they out here? Because the UFOs, if the ones that got aliens in them or humans from the future or multi-dimensional creatures, whatever, flat earth, inner earth, whatever, I don't care who's in them. The fact that they're there and they're trying to show off to you, they're doing what you do when you get your shiny rims. You know how Americans do? They wash their car, they shine up the rims, and they put that tire spray on the thing. I used to do that back when I wanted to flash and show you, like, look what I got. Look what I got. We used to like ride back. We used to like lean back in the car like this. Put the bass up. We would lean back like this. I don't know how y'all did it, but showing off. That's what they do. The aliens are coming in, or Russia showing off to Americans. Look what we got. We got, you know, free energy nuclear weapons. And so they troll each other back and forth. But that's all it is. That's the why they're there. And then just focus on the fact that they actually are there. That we're flying jet airplanes on JP4 fossil fuels. You're driving a car on an electric car that you plugged in at your house because it's a nice gesture, but you plugged it in at the house, and most of your energy comes from coal and nuclear and fossil fuel. So you solve your fossil fuel issue. You're not driving a gasoline car, but it's only a gesture because, once again, oligarchy, 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 oligarchy. Greed and profit. They don't give a damn if you drive an electric car or a fuel car. It doesn't really matter because all of it still comes from nuclear fuel, which is completely unsustainable, which they throw nuclear radiation all over this damn planet in holes, and it stays active for 20 million years or something stupid like that. The half-life of nuclear radiation, and then the fossil fuel. So you don't really have a choice. And this is why I don't do the elections. This is why I try to tell people, you don't actually have a choice. You think you have a choice. You actually don't have a choice. You don't have any control. Why? Because you're going to go out 2020 and you're going to vote. You're either going to vote for the oligarchs, Democrats and Republicans, or you're going to vote for the other parties who aren't going to win because they can't win. And if they do win, the banks are going to tell them exactly what to do because they're trying to fight central banks who print the money with piggy banks. And that's a fight. That's an ugly fight. You don't want to see it. You don't want to see where that goes.
Good stuff.
And you know what else is kind of interesting that I do want to bring up?
I did not know.
Mellon is framing this as a national security issue. And he and others are saying, oh, these UFOs, they're operating near U.S. military facilities. And it's interesting, we might as well bring this out into the open. He actually drafted the legislation that actually created the U.S. Special Operations Command. So he's in the military intelligence circles, and these people are definitely framing it as a national security issue. And some may even say that these former government officials are capitalizing on, you know, our inherent nature of being curious, of wanting to know whether UFOs exist, on the long history of people claiming to see UFOs, to justify the creation of this new military branch, the Space Force, that Trump is already, you know, setting into motion. In fact, we covered this a couple of days ago. If the Senate Armed Services Committee version of the defense spending bill passes both the House and the Senate, we are going to see the creation of the U.S. Space Force under Donald Trump.
Now you know why they're in the news. This is why I do it. Most important thing. UFOs are not a national security issue. They're not a local security issue. They're not an earth security issue. Whatever's flying them damn things that originally does not care. They could care less. They just want to come back after a flood and give you some help. They don't care. They are not a security issue. But this is where it comes back down to military-industrial complex. And complex defense spending, fear, and stress. This is why I say keep calm, focus on the fact that they're anti-gravity devices, ignore all of the other nonsense, because that's what they'll do is they get people scared. Honey, it's UFOs. Maybe don't give them 750 billion, give them 800 billion to fight something that actually does not care. Does not care. It's all about war and controlling the narrative. The fact that they exist is important. Why your government is now joining with all the other governments that released all their UFO files, that's significant. They want more war. They want more conflict. And how do they do that? By scaring you. Do not be scared.
What is that from? I don't know what that is.
Do comments and roll. Do comments and roll. Actually, there's a couple other things in the news. I didn't want to just do that, but that's a long conversation. Let me just hit the news real quick, then we'll look at all the comments real quick. Real quick. There were interesting stuff in the news that I don't have time to go through. But and Pentagon UFO stuff. Right, this was good. I'll post this one. This was about the recession. The recession is coming. I keep telling y'all, grow food, plant seeds, learn how to save your seeds, learn how to use the oil. Uh-oh, can you see that? Pop-up isn't working. Hold on, let me do this. The Great Depression is coming again. They're gonna call it the Great Recession. Who is this, Schiff? Is this Peter Schiff? I don't know his first name. Anyway, but the point is recession's coming. Why? And he was the one who made the statement that big government hates the gold standard. Why? Because it means they can't wage endless war, and they actually have to be honest with spending. Endless war ends when you go back to the gold standard, taking all your rights, building out a police state. That ends perhaps a little bit when you go back to the gold standard, right? Like we were talking about the contradictions this weekend in sending troops to go fight with the highest level of technology that the poor people are allowed to know about. And they'll use that software and technology to go murder other people, and they come home to the United States, and that same software and equipment is used against them. The same equipment they use against the terrorists, they come home and it's used against them because all the police departments are getting it. I was driving out this weekend, I saw a damn tank ride down the street and said police on the side. What the hell? Now the good thing, it wasn't where I live, they were just driving through. They were just driving through, but it might be at the state level, and police don't need tanks. You know, the police are getting tanks because they know you hate them. Why do you hate them? Because the police are racist. No, they're not. No, they're, well, okay, maybe some, all right, never mind. Everybody is. It's just how you're raised, how it works. But the issue is that they send people who are all races, always, because even you are, to your community. They got guns, and their job is to make sure they meet their quota. So of course, what's gonna happen? People are gonna die. Focus on the root cause problem. They want energy, the police want energy like you want energy, and that's why everybody got a job and is apathetic to somebody. Focus on that. All right, what else we got? But don't stress out. Don't stress out over it. Focus on it, don't stress out. All right, let me see. New York Times gets, what is this? Oh yeah, New York Times. But again, New York Times is in on it because the alien UFO thing, because they're trying to drive it into this debate. Do aliens exist? And is it the Russians? Do we need to get more money into the Pentagon? And I'm saying, blow that narrative out. Just focus on the fact that free energy exists and government shouldn't be holding that secret. They should not be holding those patents. We need to get behind all the engineers, a couple hundred engineers that are trying to release those 5,000 patents that are related to energy that your government's classifying. Your Republicans and Democrats that are fighting the CO2 levels and trying to free you and give you democracy and liberty, but they're keeping energy from you, the only thing that enslaves the human race. This was interesting. The Florida bans child-like sex dolls. I don't know. We could talk about that one. That was actually kind of interesting, but you know, that triggers people. This triggers people. This is a huge one. Why is that huge? Because a lot of people were abused. We grew up in scarce worlds, so a lot of abuse occurs. That's just what happens in slave colonies. And so Florida's trying to ban these childlike sex dolls, and you've already made your choice. I'll probably say 80% of the people, once they read the headline, they've already made their decision. But I agree with Lionel in this point, and we have to trust the professionals, right? To me, when it comes to these things, this is where I don't make a decision. Like, I don't make a decision because I haven't abused anyone and I never grew up under abuse. I keep my mouth shut. Now, if I grew up under abuse, I'd be like, if I did abusing, I'd be like, me, I'm not on, that I know of, I'm not on the psychopathic spectrum. And if I ever get that test, it will not be in public. I love anti-war a little too much. I love peace and freedom and love too much. I might be a love psychopath. I'm not going to get that test, but your politicians all need to get that test before you vote for them. But I don't make a decision on this, right? Like, to me, that's what I think a calm, rational, critical thinking adult does. They see the headline and they back up and say, well, what are the behavioral scientists saying? What are the neuroscientists saying? They're telling you that what a psychopath is a person that has certain genes turned off, so certain portions of their brain don't function, so they have certain abilities to do things to get a dopamine reward that most humans can't do. In the ancient past, it was going to the woolly mammoth and fighting a 14-foot woolly mammoth to feed the tribe, and they got a dopamine hit. They were the warrior. That's why they call it warrior gene. Unfortunately, in times of peace, that gene works other ways. We raise kids in scarcity and hate and because of gravity, right? Because we don't have these anti-gravity devices providing for everybody through robots and automation. So those genes get flipped on and crazy things happen, you know, like in the case of murder. And I'm not gonna go through the whole Dr. James Fallon thing. You know who he is, go look at his lectures, educate yourself before you decide. The point is, people get dopamine hits for doing things like murder, rape, child abuse, banking, financial, doctors, they get dopamine hits for doing things that others can't do, and portions of the brain are shut down so they can do that. Compassion, empathy, fear, aggression, blah, blah, blah. Not gonna go through it. We have broken people. And to me, everything is about listen to the professionals who are doing the research, and they're saying mental illness is behind most of this. Maybe not all of it, but most of it. We know we can fix people, let's fix people. Let's not fight with the side effect. Get in there and start arguing about some damn child sex dolls. If the professionals say that if these guys have it, it prevents them from hurting children, what should your position be? Hopefully not one of ignorance, making up your own decision in social media comment sections, but listening to the actual professionals who are trying to fix the problem and not pretending you're a professional on the internet. So that's the position. That actually was a good one. Y'all should watch that. Lionel went through. There's also a freedom of speech issue there, where your government's telling you what you can and can't do. That they take these topics and these things that seem like well-meaning actions of the time because they're emotional and they get people to get behind it, but then it takes away human rights. It takes away your right to decide. And now it's like an entryway for the government to get in your life and start telling you what you can and can't do in your own house that does not involve another human, that doesn't hurt anybody, that's peaceful. I actually agree with Lionel on that. I agree with Lionel on the professionals. We need to fix people. We don't need to take rights from people. We need to stop dealing with things with violence, force, and aggression, which is law and men with guns, the police state, and we need to start dealing with them like we're adults and we're trying to fix this world. Like these psychopaths are our cousins. Like we actually want to protect children and we want it to stop. More than we want justice, we want a solution. That's why I'm sick of justice. I don't care about your justice. There's no justice system in the United States. That's a lie. It's a fallacy. That's always has been. They use your emotions because you're 98% monkey to keep you stressed. So you keep jumping around the monkey cage, throwing poo at each other. That's it, poo. That was a good one. Watch that one. All right, last couple ones we got here. Secret Google list. They know where you shop. Right, that's crazy. For you people who shop online, not me. I don't shop online. I don't really care. And the things about I don't really care. I know they know everything. But Google has a list. If you watch that, they'll go in. You can go in your Gmail or something, and Google has a list down deep in your settings where you can't find it, where it'll tell you everything you bought on the internet. And that's the information they're sharing out. I really don't care about that, but that's something. Some people do care about that stuff. U.S. reroutes Venezuela aid to migrants. In Colombia, continues backing Guaido. That's actually good news. That's the American colonization is it lost on that front for the moment, but they don't give up. Why? They're not going to give up because the Rothschilds and Rockefellers are not going to give up. America doesn't make its own decisions, and they need more war. Russia makes aggressive anti-Bolton move. Yeah. What that was about? That was about the S-400s, where Russia decided not to sell the S-400s to Russia. Let's say it right. So Putin said he wasn't going to sell the S-400s to Iran, country that hadn't invaded anybody. But they invaded one person in 200 years. That's it. America invaded 200 persons every 1 year. But Putin said he wasn't going to sell the missiles. But the defense minister in Russia, because remember, Russia's controlled by Russian oligarchs. Putin actually doesn't make as many decisions as you think he does, like the American presidents don't either, because your world doesn't work the way you think it does. It works the way that money says it will. They debated. He said, no, we never said we're not going to sell Iran S-400s. Me personally, I think they should. I think Russia should sell everybody S-400s. And I think if America ever got a sense of itself, they'd sell everybody the Patriot missile. Why? Because when people have defenses, wars don't happen. When these oligarchs want to buy your politicians and buy the blood of your young people, they look at the cost. What is the cost? It's the cost of murdering all these young people that they don't care nothing about, PTSD and all that. They ain't worry about none of that. USS Liberty, they ain't worry about none of that. What is the cost of going in, killing a bunch of people militarily, versus the reward we get in the resources, the rubber, the oil, the coltan, whatever we want? The cost, the ROI, return on investment, is too high, they won't do it. So yeah, hell yeah, I think Russia should sell them. Like I said, I'm a poor American. I'm literally, I'm a poor American. But no, I'm a poor American because I critically think. I agree with George Carlin. I think for myself. I don't think in my indoctrination. I think of what makes sense. And world peace, ending conflict makes the most sense. Let me see, on contact. Oh yeah, this was a good one. This was the third party candidate. I guess Howie Hawkins wants to be the third party candidate, Green Party. Once again, there are only two groups running. The oligarchies, which are pro-war, pro-police state, pro-blow up the planet, pro-change the climate if they can, pro-start World War III. And the other group is just the third parties who fighting central banking with piggy banks. So it was a good discussion. He talked about universal basic income and a few things, but that's if you're still doing the politics stuff. I'm not interested in politics. Pelosi about impeaching Trump. All right, that's just dumb. I'm not even gonna be into that. I have no interest. I got a little bit of trouble for that. And I kind of explained my position. Yes, I posted something that made Pelosi look bad. Some people didn't like it. Some people did. Whatever. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not. It's not my interest. But if Pelosi murders children, if Pelosi drops buildings, she votes for legislation to kill people and colonize and keep slavery going. If Pelosi, like all the rest, are voting and constantly keeping Americans starving all over the country and starving other people elsewhere, I have no interest. You can make all the jokes you want about her, and I don't care. I'm not interested in Pelosi's feelings. Uh-oh, did YouTube just die? They didn't like that? I'm supposed to be pro-Pelosi. Let me see what happened. Did AI do that? YouTube might be gone, y'all. Like I said, they're done. They're done playing with this stuff. They're about to shut all this stuff down. The AI's looking at doing my facial recognition. They're saying, black dude, America, you're supposed to be pro-Pelosi. If you're anti-Democrat, anti-Pelosi, or pro-human being, beep, shut it off. So I'm not even sure what happened to the YouTube comments. Let's do comments and see what we can do. Comments, and I'm gonna get out of here. Way back to the top. Good morning, Brother Kevin. Good morning, Augustine. No notification on the other site. Yeah, Augustine, that happens. I don't know if it's software or just AI is doing what it does. I kind of think it's AI because that's what I would do. If I were behind all the software, the learning software for social media, I would make it look like it's just technical. You know, I would do stuff to kind of monkey with things and notifications, you know, but they're certainly trying to limit anyone bringing the human race together that's not picking a team. I have no teams. I'm not on any of the Rothschilds teams, the Rockefellers, none of their human categorizations do I fit in. And I'm not interested in fitting any of them. I'm not going to sell anybody out. I was indoctrinated to sell people out. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sell any of my cousins out. I got 7 billion of them. And they're all phenomenal creatures when y'all don't starve them into being violent with you. Could the UFO see lately actually be the new EM drive machines? It could be, Linda, and this is the great thing. So I love Linda to death. That's what I'm saying. See, you're involved and you know about these things, and you know about the types of technology, the EM drives and the electromagnetic gravitic drives. And the whole point is that none of that should be secret from the human race. All of that should be utilized for the people, all of it. And this is why I do this, because there are things I don't know a whole lot about the EM drive, but I'm glad that you said that, because that's the whole point. We need that technology for the human race. We don't need it to murder people. We need it to save lives. Okay, we're still there. Good. Awesome. All right. Ty, quit being the key word. Quit being the key word. You can't use the state to keep itself accountable. Any plan to do so is a setup. Right, Ty? That's what I'm saying. All sides are setups. All sides are setups. Why? Because they're trying to use the state to fix the state. They're trying to vote to fix voting. They're trying to fight the Rothschilds with the Rothschilds government systems, right? They're trying to fight central banking in a system that requires central banking. Like it's process that. Just process that. Please critically think through that. Just think about it. They're trying to fight the Democrats and the Republicans. The Democrats trying to fight the Republicans trying to fight the Democrats in a world the Republicans and the Democrats both built and made sure that you couldn't fight either, that there were only two parties. Like, it boggles the mind. Free energy is a thing. Yes, Jasmine, free energy is totally a thing. It's just not utilized for us. It's utilized for big corporations, greed, war, murdering people, their cousins all over the planet, and it needs to stop. Ty is still hungry. Yes, Ty, we're all hungry. Why? Because we're starved. We act like 98% monkeys, and that's what they need. They need us stressed, acting like 98% monkeys. They need our immune system shut down. That's why corporate America is the way it is. If your immune system isn't working, you buy drugs. If your immune system isn't working, you're scared. If you got a bunch of vaccines and forced and all of that stuff, then your body won't work right. They can make permanent customers out of you. I got into the vaccine discussion this weekend with somebody else. I just said, I don't pick any sides on it. I really don't care. It's just like, even Sanchez got in trouble for that. Sanchez actually, they did a hit piece on him because they said he was an anti-vaxxer. And what he showed an old video where he said, well, if you want to send your kids to school, then you should get them vaccinated, to show that he wasn't an anti-vaxxer. I was annoyed by that. I thought he was a little more informed in that. That's not my position. My position on vaccines in school simply is this, is how have schools worked since the beginning? Since the beginning, since we were Unga Bunga, had bones in our nose, and we sent our kids off to Ubuntu's tent, then Ubuntu would teach them how to throw the axe and the spear and starve and kill and cut the deer and do all the things to provide something in society. They were kids, they showed up coughing and sneezing and wiping snot on each other's face and coughing and hacking, and it developed a human immune system that allowed us to go from a couple thousand to 7 billion people, if that number is right, all over this planet. So if it worked good that way, I personally think if you go to public school, you need to bring your germs with you. I think when you go to public school, you need to have that kid that picks his nose and flicks his boogers at you. You need to have that kid that's chewing on a pencil, and you need a pencil, and do that kid still have pencils? They still write? I don't think they probably don't write. You need a kid coughing on the cell phone or the iPad when they give it to you. Why? Because that's how immunity has always worked. It's worked pretty damn good. So I'm not anti-vaccine. I think if you want to outsource your immune system to big pharmaceuticals, you believe them and you think that they're good and delicious and nutritious, and they want health in your body, but they make money selling drugs that fight disease in your body or make you feel better about having the disease in your body, then you should go with them. I agree. Set up 2 schools then. Set up 2 schools. You got vaccine school, non-vaccine school. I can tell you where my kid's gonna go. I can tell you where I'm gonna go. And I can tell you where I'm not gonna go. All right? I'm not interested in people who are only 50 years old fighting a system that's worked for 500 million years. All right, that's my position on it. So I was a little disappointed Sanchez did that, and more doctors are having neutral positions, which is very important. They are playing the game. Yes, Stacy, because when human beings play the game, they stay locked into the matrix. Nice gestures. Yep, Jasmine, gestures don't matter. Gestures do not matter at all. And everything I see in the mainstream media is usually gestures, so that's why I don't really watch it. I don't care. It's designed to keep me stressed. I don't do stress. I do peace. I do joy. Whatever's happening in my life is what's happened. Doesn't mean I don't have bad days. It just means I understand I'm not actually here. I understand that I'm some sort of a spiritual preacher in the human experience, and I just try to enjoy myself watching the monkeys. I'm at the zoo. I just let the monkeys doing monkey things. I don't get outraged. Very rarely. I just ask yourself, when the monkeys do what monkeys do, are you outraged? When you go to the zoo and the monkeys start peeing on the wall and sticking fingers in the butt and ear and throwing poo at the window of the glass where you are you surprised? Are you outraged? No, okay. So the news doesn't outrage me. I look at it, I kind of laugh. That's what I say. 98% of monkeys supposed to do that. 98% of monkeys supposed to get upset about it. 98% of monkeys supposed to do 98 monkey things to stop it. And I just laugh at it. It is what it is. I hope we figure it out in time. All right, let me see. Yay, poison markets. Yes, well, that's what they're doing, Ty. They're poisoning us. Silent weapons for quiet wars. Trump will win again, but Trump is not in control of anything. Yes, he will, Stacey. Trump will win again. He is not in control of anything. He's not fighting. Trump is doing exactly what he's told to do, otherwise they'd kill him. Any president that will not listen to the Rothschilds and Rockefellers banking, these big corporations, and 100 men that they put around every president that don't take no for an answer is a fool. Why? Because they run a nation of 270 billion, 98% monkeys. Don't poo with each other because they watch the media. Maybe they're sure the animals, humans in the zoo don't escape and wreak havoc on the universe. Susan, I agree with that, and I believe that. I think that what the whole goal is to keep us here, and if we evolve, they let us get out. If not, we got to stay here and keep murdering each other, and that's why they let us go extinct. They love us to the extent, like God will never leave or forsake you, and that's what the scripture means. But God will let you genocide the hell out of each other. God will let that happen. God has been letting that happen a long time, but I don't think that's the big G God. I think it's the little G God. Big G God knows you're not really here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Little G gods, they get involved and play with humans and pretend they're Greek gods and pretend they're the African gods and pretend that they're the Egyptian gods and stuff like that. Space Force exists. Yes, Andre's been there a very long time. This is 1940. I think this is around the time that they really started to figure out that this stuff was real. And when they did, and they went to Nazi Germany, they got all his information, all the stuff he stole from all the military industrial complexes all over Europe, and they got that in Russia and China, America and Russia at that point. They had all that information. Ever since then, they've been keeping us on fossil fuels, getting Republicans and Democrats to fight each other. Those crafts could be reverse engineered ATVs. And I think they are, Andre. That's what I think they are. I think the vast majority, because it makes sense to me. Why is America talking about UFOs like crazy now? It makes sense because there's profit in it. There was no profit in you knowing about free energy, for the last 100 years. There's profit in it now because they're going to use it to scare people. And they'll use it for the military industrial complex, the budget. The American government doesn't exceed anything unless you force them. Right? Power never concedes anything, and the Americans aren't in control. They don't have the power. The oligarchs have the power. So there's a reason why, and the reason why is money, power, and control. Fake alien war propaganda. Yes, Andre, what is that called? Project Blue Beam. Y'all need to look it up. Look it up. The aliens, when they invade, it's not them. I'd rather they have had dolls than my child. You can't cure pedophilia. Ooh, good point, Stacy. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, is it about the kids or is it about you? Is it about your ego because you hate them? Or is it about us protecting kids, listening to the professionals? Can they cure it? I don't answer that question, Stacy. I listen to the neuroscientists. Some of them say they can, some of them say they can't. But either way, if they can use that and if you change it so that they get it and they watch them or something to make sure they're not hurting kids, I like that. My position is always protect people. Don't fall in with the egoism and the hate. Protect kids at all times, right? Because if it's ever happened to your kids, I think you'd agree with Stacy. Because there's too much child abuse. Yeah, teenagers everywhere. It's prolific. And I don't think it's new. I think it's always been around, but I think it's more abundant than probably what's ever been because we're poisoning people. I mean, between the pesticides and the heavy metals and the stress and the media, I mean, we're just triggering those warrior genes at birth. We are making monsters out of children and men and women. We can fix it, but we got to stop being silly. We got to stop fighting each other. We got to grow the hell up and say UFOs are real. We got to do what the religion says. We got to start a new religion. Keep calm, look up. That's the basis of all religions. Keep calm, look up. Keep calm, look up. All right. What else we got? People are broke. We got to stop being silly. Maybe they should ban alien sex dolls. Aliens might get offended or not respond so well. Goodness. You know what? If there aren't alien sex dolls, there will be because you just posted it. Gut biome is the root of healing nutrition, right, Dee? And that's why they poison the gut biome. That's why they shut down your immune system with all the stress at work and all the things they do in the news. If you keep people sick, you can make big money off of them. You can keep them in conflict with each other. I worked with the professionals, and they're mostly idiots with personality disorders. Hashtag true fact. Yes, Patricia, because there's something about being raised to be in conflict with others. There's something about being apathetic towards other people. And professionals, they got a lot of it. You go to college, you get indoctrinated, and it's okay that you have and others don't. And I think there's something really sick about that. Some make it through, but the vast majority are indoctrinated. That whole schooling thing of conflict, being in conflict with each other instead of working together to solve problems. We got to get past human conflict. Mindhunter on Netflix about the beginning of the FBI psychological profiling of serial killers do what they do for personal gratification. Right, and the dopamine hit, right, Susan? Like, that's what I'm saying is that these people, not what I'm saying, what the neuroscientists are saying, that these people get dopamine hits for doing things that scare you, right? They live in immense depression unless they're doing these horrible things. Those genes, if they can be turned off, that needs to be a high priority. Absolutely. They're not going to stop. What do you do when you get depressed? You go out and drink. What do? You do dumb things. The good thing is the dumb things you do don't hurt other people. The dumb things they do hurt people. We can fix the problem. Well, they say they can fix the problem. We should try. All are slaves, but all can be free to either be slaves or to our low desires or highest principles. Absolutely, Ron, brother Ron, I pick highest principles. Highest principles. Live and let live. Grow the hell up. Stop worrying about your neighbor. Stand up for your neighbor. You don't have to like your neighbor, but you got to get behind them. Why? Because they're your neighbor and they're your family. Sending my love. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate that. Hunger is always a surefire weapon. Yes, it is, Ty, because if you keep people starving, oh, you can get them, you can make them monsters. Starve the most intelligent people, make them monsters. Sister Rebecca talking about Yemen, never stop with Yemen. If these people can murder 100,000 people, 100,000 children, guess what they'll do to you? Don't be surprised that the military-industrial complex gives those weapons and tanks and software over to the police to use against the soldiers, because they don't support the troops. They support the oligarchs. They support the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. They support the money. They support the greed. They're not on your side. The 2020 elections only have two sides, oligarchs and those who are going to lose against the oligarchs. It's the only side. We only do this together. That's the only way we get out, by walking away from this system. Cool as a cucumber. Courtney, that's how you gotta be. You gotta be cool. You gotta step back and just say 98% monkeys doing 98% monkeys. 98% monkeys. Before I get upset, is that a 98% monkey thing? They swing from trees. They're swinging from trees. Yes, they're supposed to do that. That's exactly what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to fight over whether or not those are aliens or not. That's exactly what they're supposed to do. 98% monkeys. Focus on free energy. Free energy is the only thing that can free the human race. I think the tactics are time-traveling devices from the future. Brother John, and if that's true, we need to know. Oh my gosh, do we need to know. You know, outside of the fact of free energy, if them damn things are time travel and the Rothschilds and Rockefellers are using it and using America and Britain to keep a secret from the world, oh, we got bigger problems than just free energy. We got big problems if there's some damn time travel devices and people are lining up to vote again to keep secrets in government. Time to transform and change the model of the world, people. We can do that, but you can't do that in conflict with other poor people. Maybe pedos and aliens that got kicked off their planet are exiled to Earth as punishment. Oh, don't say that. We should put EM all in a rocket and put them all in a rocket and blast them back. You know, Courtney, that's a scary thing. I kind of think that theoretically might make some sense, that we evolved on a planet and the other humans got it. We didn't get it and they banned us here. Our ancestors were pedophiles and psychopaths and nuts, and that's why the warrior genes are there. And we're on this planet stuck with them. Oh no, please take me. Just take me now. Somebody get me the hell out of here. All right, let me see. What's the background song right now? Oh, Jaws. What is Jaws? Jaws, what is this? This is bensound.com, Little Planet. Free, what is it called? Royalty free. Royalty free. Love royalty free. I don't believe in copyrights at all. Help has arrived. You will learn more in coming days. Be calm. Look up. Yes, Stacy, that needs to be the new religion, because that's the basis of all religions. Be calm. Look up. Understand there are greater things than what you got. Understand your government isn't the greatest thing since poured rice. Understand that's conflict and joining sides and parties and forcing other people to do what you want, what you think is right, because that's your experience and your indoctrination. It's never the right thing. There are better systems than that. If they are aliens in those UFOs, which, like I said, I think some of them are, we need to focus on the fact that they actually made it, and we still struggle with having a government that won't murder 100,000 children happily. While they spent all damn last 3 years talking about where Trump put his penis 10 years ago. That's crazy. All right, listen, it's Monday, slavery, y'all get to work, y'all get your cotton bags, get to picking. Focus on anti-gravity. That's all that matters. The only thing that slaves the human race is the fact that gravity locks us on the planet. We don't have enough energy, and human beings turn into the worst monkeys you'd ever see when they don't have enough. All right, Gerard, got to get going. Love y'all to death. Y'all have a great day. I'm out.